Hello again, welcome back to our polytunnel. It's mid-August and we've had some amazing successes in here and a few things that are a bit less than successful. Let's have a look. I've been absolutely blown away by how good this polytunnel is. We've grown all of this in just a few months, especially considering the weather outside. I don't think we would have had very much success at all this year, but we've got all of this. We've got fantastic parsley here. You can see the cabbages behind me are beginning to form hearts. And these wonderful things, they're called nasturtiums, a sea of them. Now, they are fantastic because you can eat the leaves and you can eat the flowers, and they help us to garden organically. We've never used artificial pesticides or artificial fertilizers. We simply nourish the plants using well-rotted compost, having companion planting, and also using things like nasturtiums to help attract beneficial insects like hoverflies that then predate on the pest species that you don't want. Now, I enjoy cooking as much as I enjoy gardening, and unfortunately the two things go together quite well. Nasturtiums, the taste of them is like a mixture between English mustard and horseradish. They're quite peppery and quite strong, but they work beautifully in a salad. The seeds, you can eat them raw or you can pickle them. They're a bit bigger than capers, so they're very versatile in salads. One of the challenges we're having is this plague of green tomatoes. We're struggling to get them to ripen, and that means we might be eating lots and lots of green tomato chutney. I don't like green tomato chutney, so that's going to be a problem. We need to get these things to ripen. There's a couple of reasons why I think they're struggling to ripen, and one is to do with the weather. This has got to be a record-breakingly terrible summer. It was hot and dry from mid-May till mid-June, and it's just been raining since, and cold. It's about 14 degrees outside right now, and it's the middle of the afternoon in August. It's crazy. The other reason is because we only got them in the ground in June because we hadn't planned on growing tomatoes. In fact, we didn't plan on having a polytunnel at all, mainly because of cost elements. I mean, my wife and I have been gardening for 20 years and we absolutely love growing our own food. It tastes so much better straight from the plant into the pot or onto the plate. It's a wonderful experience. And every year we debate, should we get a polytunnel, should we not? They're quite pricey. Would it really give us any benefit? And every year we decide not to. Then this year, my wife's parents gave us a big chunk of cash towards a polytunnel. So that removed the biggest barrier. And here we are. That happened in the springtime. It took a little longer to get this thing built than we expected. I've got a video coming eventually about the build. And here it is. So we finally got it up late May, early June, and began putting plants into it. So we'll show you some of the wonderful successes we've had, but it does mean that these tomatoes are a little behind schedule, a lot behind schedule. So we need to get them to ripen up as quickly as possible before the frosts come, which could be tomorrow with how things are going with the weather. So let's see what we can do. One important job to do is to remove the leaves that are shading any of the tomato fruits. They actually require sunlight on the fruits in order to ripen. So we'll remove any that are doing that, like that one, and probably that one as well. It's also important to cut away any leaves that are within a foot, 30 centimeters from the soil. The logic being that spores from any diseases could get splashed back up onto the leaves and spread into the plants. So we want to do that as well. Now, my wife's grandmother, Nanny we called her, at this time of the season she would strip all the leaves from her tomato plants. Now, this caused great discussion in the family as to the wisdom of this technique. The argument being the plant needs some leaves to photosynthesize to continue being healthy and grow, but she wouldn't have any of it. She just stripped all the leaves off. Now, as it happens, she grew fantastic tomatoes, so maybe she knew what she was doing. I'm not going to do it that way though. I'm going to leave on all the leaves apart from the ones that I need to remove for shading purposes and disease prevention so that the plant has enough energy to sustain itself. Right, we've now removed a lot of the leaves that were shading the fruit, as much as I think we dare do. So it's all looking very open, and we removed the lower leaves as well, like I said, to keep any diseases from splashing up. This branch here we should have removed when it started growing, but we missed it, and we now have fruit here, so we're going to leave it. I put it on this plant pot to try to keep the tomatoes off of the soil. Another great success we've had in the polytunnel this year are these courgettes, or zucchini if you're American. When we've grown them outside in the past, we've really struggled to get them to succeed. Usually only 1 out of every 3 plants sort of takes and begins to grow well. Whereas we grew these from seed only 2 months ago, and we planted 6 seeds and 5 of them are growing beautifully and producing food for us. So I'll harvest these in just a moment. They'll be beautiful, sliced and fried. With some sugar snap peas we have growing just over there. Courgettes are another plant where you can eat the flowers. I'm going to dip them in a bit of tempura batter and have them as starters tonight. That should be delicious. These are some sugar snap peas. They will go beautifully with the courgette. The only problem is they're fantastic straight off the plant. They're really sweet and lovely. We'll see how many actually make it into the basket. And then we'll have a bit of cabbage as spring greens should be nice and tender. All right, we'll trim that when we get inside. Hope you enjoyed visiting our polytunnel. See you again soon.